Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, I'm going to cover a project that in my opinion is incredibly undervalued, and this project is the Sushiswap project, and its native token is called SUSHI, right? Again, as always guys, I highly recommend you guys to do your own research on any of the projects that we cover in our channel. And for this project, I recommend you guys to go to their website sushi.com in order to learn more about this project, right? So if you're new to crypto or even DeFi overall, I'm going to give people who are new some peripheral information about Sushi, which can obviously you can do your own research and read more about it from the website. But what is Sushi? In short, Sushi is basically a decentralized exchange that is also an automated market maker, right? So Sushiswap is a fork of Uniswap, and there were more controversial aspects to Sushiswap last year in and around this time, when Sushiswap was basically trying to like vampire attack Uniswap and take all the liquidity. So Sushiswap has had a sort of like a dark past, if you can say that, but I think the team has rebounded and they are producing some really cutting edge innovation in the field of DeFi, especially when it comes to cross-chain DeFi. Sushiswap is kind of like in the forefront of that cross-chain DeFi, right? So that's basically the peripheral overview of Sushiswap. But if you see what's mentioned in their website, be a DeFi chef with Sushi, swap, earn, stack yields, lend, borrow, leverage all in one decentralized community-driven platform. Welcome home to DeFi. So again, it's mostly associated with being an automated market maker, and that's basically where I feel like Sushiswap is kind of neglected as a clone of Uniswap, or an evil clone of Uniswap. If some people, I feel like some people call Sushiswap as an evil clone. That's why I mentioned that. But Sushiswap always had this bad reputation, which I still feel like hasn't made it made it help proceed with whatever plans it's having right now, right, in multi-chain blockchains, right? So Sushiswap is not only a decentralized exchange, but you can also use Sushiswap to do yield farming. You can lend and borrow, and you can leverage, when it comes to cryptocurrency leverage, you can do all of that in one platform. So I'm just trying to use this video as an attempt to try to kind of like show Sushiswap in the real light and the real credit that it deserves, because I feel like the old tarnished image of Sushiswap is kind of hurting it, and that's kind of reflected in its undervalued nature, right? If you want to access Sushiswap, I encourage you guys to click Enter App, which we will cover shortly. But it's a very cool app. It's a visually pleasing app. They have pretty cool graphics. It's a very comforting, decentralized application to use. The interface is very smooth, and we'll check it out in a few seconds. But if you see the current price, it's $7.98 at the time of making this video, with a total liquidity of $2.82 billion in liquidity. Again, that's a huge number, and that's going to kind of tie in with how undervalued this project is. Its total volume is $89.8 billion, with a total pair of 1,439 pairs of tokens that are available on Sushiswap to trade. So again, when it comes to the grand scheme of DeFi projects, I think Sushiswap is considered as a behemoth. Michelin star worthy DeFi innovations crafted by our master chefs. Again, if you take Sushiswap, it kind of also had its fair share of negative reviews thanks to the name that it has, right? Sushiswap, which is a food-based name. Again, if you're hearing about Sushiswap for the first time right now, obviously you may kind of like be weirded out a little bit, but you wouldn't be that weirded out as people who were weirded out last year, because we had a lot of food-based tokens and platforms. Many of them were scams and rug pulls, which is also one of the reasons why Sushiswap is having this sort of this tarnished image even now. That's kind of hurting is its market cap, right? But when it comes to the OG food currency names, SushiSwap is also in the top ranking because it's one of the first legit, food-based projects, food-based named project to be specific, that existed last year and is continuing to make extreme innovations and trying to diversify its platform, right? So if you see, when it comes to diversification, they have a lot of options which you can never find on Uniswap or in several other famous decentralized exchanges, right? Which makes SushiSwap kind of like a unique blend of decentralized exchange combined with lending, borrowing, yield farming, and so on and so forth. So it's basically an all-in-one DeFi hub more than just a decentralized exchange, and that's basically how SushiSwap is trying to rebrand themselves, right? So you have a lot of options which you guys can easily go through, but if you see, one of the main features or the benefits of SushiSwap is you can stake your sushi tokens to earn X sushi tokens, which basically means you will be able to earn a small share of the profits that's generated from the platform by holding their X sushi token, right? Which is mind-blowingly amazing for people who like passive income, and SushiSwap obviously has that feature available, which even Uniswap doesn't have it at the time I'm making this video, right? And they also have an accelerated launchpad platform as well built into their system, which is their on-send program, which is an incredible platform to experience, which I highly recommend people to experience it. Again, not financial wise, but if you want to test out the SushiSwap platform, that's one of the products that you definitely need to test out, right? They also have the bento box dApps, which are mini dApp applications which are very straightforward to use. They provide yield opportunities and kind of like yield farming aspects to it. And if you see Kashi lending and leverage, it's obviously, as the name says, it's a lending and leverage platform where you can go long or short in your leverage positions, as well as if you have some tokens that they offer, you can lend it out and earn some interest, right? Apart from that, its main functionalities, it's an automated market maker, but it's not just like a regular automated market maker, right? Just like Uniswap, it's actually a multi-chain automated market maker. So if you go to Polygon, you have SushiSwap associated with it. If you go to Binance Smart Chain, you have SushiSwap available on Binance Smart Chain. If you go to several other Harmony One or Phantom Network, you have SushiSwap in multiple other chains, right? And I'm pretty sure that as Polkadot, even Kusama, I believe there'll probably be some version of Uniswap in the future on Kusama and Polkadot blockchains as well, because why not, right? And if you see Cardano, when they roll up their smart contracts, you'll have a version of SushiSwap in it. So it's completely multi-chain, and it's truly multi-chain, unlike several other projects that claim to be multi-chain, but they are actually only in 2 or 3 chains, right? But SushiSwap is pretty much trying to conquer every single blockchain market, and that's something that's really good, in my opinion. An evolving community for an evolving DeFi landscape. So they are continuously evolving, and that's the biggest strength of SushiSwap, in my opinion. They have 20 plus wallets supported, which is mind-blowing. 14 chains supported. Again, they are in 14 different blockchains. Again, I think if I can name a project that comes close to being in several different blockchains, I can't really think of anything other than SushiSwap, because I've literally seen it in every different blockchain that I've used so far. So that's amazing. And if you see 25k plus Discord members, again, it's a big community. If you see there's 150k plus sushi holders, again, in the grand scheme of things, I think this number is very low, which is what makes me feel like SushiSwap is extremely undervalued for the behemoth of a project it is, right? Meet the partners helping us cook up the tastiest dishes in DeFi. So again, I like how every single sentence that they include some form of food-based sentence or food-based language, which kind of brings you back to the nostalgic period of early DeFi stage last year. I know it's not too long, but in crypto terms, it's eternity if you have a project that survives for more than a year. And SushiSwap has definitely kind of retained its good qualities of its food-based name, and it's continued to innovate simultaneously, right? If you see, Sushiswap is working with Yearn Finance, which is also another huge project on the Ethereum blockchain. Cream Finance, which is kind of like a clone of Compound Finance, which does its own thing. Aave, again, one of my favorite projects on DeFi. Pickle Finance, which is also one of the most earliest food-based cryptocurrency dApps that existed on the Ethereum blockchain last year. It's also one of the projects that survived, and it's kind of like trying to do innovations just like Sushiswap and trying to come out of its sort of like a goofy past last year. Acropolis, which is also a nice popular name, which is slowly becoming more and more popular in the crypto space, DeFi space right now. And Keep 3R Network is another project from Yearn Finance's founder Andre Cronje, and this is another project that I feel like will perform extremely well in the future, right? So some really solid partnerships that Sushiswap has, and if you see, that's pretty much it for the website. It's a very short and sweet website with all the important information presented in bite-sized pieces. Again, forgive the pun here. If you see, it has lots of information, but presented in a very well digestible manner that helps newcomers as well as experienced crypto personnel to kind of like experience the platform in a very smooth and willing manner, rather than trying to force themselves into a platform, right? So that's something that Sushiswap has done perfectly right. And let's go to their app, because their app is something, or dApp as I should say, it's a very cool platform, because if you see the top bar, they have pretty much every single utility that you want to see from a DeFi platform, right? Let's say if you're a new DeFi user, you would like to swap some tokens, you have that feature here. If you want to provide liquidity and earn some liquidity provider rewards, you can do that as well. You have the pool feature. Again, the user interface is quite similar to Uniswap, so there's no real difficulty in using that. If you want to earn some yield on some of the LP tokens that you provided, you can go to the very next button and check some of the cool yield farms that you have that provide you some insane returns. They have some really high risk yield farms and really low risk and medium risk, so there's pretty much something for everyone, right? If you go to Sushi Bar, you can basically stake your sushi tokens in order to get X sushi, which will help you earn a portion of a small fee from every transaction that happens on Sushiswap. And if you see, the staking APR is 5.96%, not too great and not too bad as well. It's pretty much in a safe zone, which will definitely attract a lot of experienced mature investors, right? So that's something that I think Sushiswap has in its line. And if you want to lend your platform, if you want to experience some form of Aave or Compound Finance on Sushi, they have that feature as well, right? And if you want to mix and match different dApps and try to use gas efficient ways to do yield farming and earn some extra yield, you have their Bento Box, which is an innovative dApp platform that kind of provides you the most gas efficient feature, especially if you're using Sushiswap on the Ethereum blockchain, right? So we also have several new projects that's coming soon, as you can see from their Bento Box site. They only have their Kashi, but they'll definitely have more on the line, which is definitely going to be something that you need from Sushiswap, right? And if you have Miso, which is their new launchpad platform that they have, it's an amazing platform. Again, I personally haven't tested that platform yet, but I've heard a lot of great things about this launchpad platform. And if you see, the vesting information is also given here, and you can also see some cool analytics about the tokens that are provided that are available on the Sushiswap platform, right? So again, like, if you see a platform that offers so many features in one little dApp called Sushiswap, how can you still continue to call Sushiswap as a DEX, right? That's basically the major mistake that I feel investors are making, right? Again, going back to the CoinGecko page, if you see, the token is currently ranked 63rd. It's not even in the top 50 by ranking. That's how undervalued this project is. If you take the top 10 or even the top 25, right, there are some really like great projects, like again, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, you have some really innovative projects in the top 20. But there are a lot of projects that don't really have an effective ecosystem or an effective use case at the time of making this video. And that is something that really baffles me, because a project like Sushiswap, which is like a Swiss army knife of the Ethereum or of the DeFi platform, continues to be undervalued, whereas certain other platforms that don't really offer a lot of use cases, right, that are in the top 10s or even the top 25s, right? So that's what baffles my mind, and that's basically something that I feel is going to change over the course of a few months to a few years as people start seeing Sushiswap for the true value it deserves, right? So if you take the price point, it's currently trading at $7.99 as we discussed right now, with a minor 1.7% decline in the past 24 hours, right? Again, not a huge dip, but it's still a dip nonetheless. The market cap is $1.5 billion. Again, it's a big market cap token. If you take the max supply, there's only 250 million tokens as max supply. Again, slightly higher than what I would prefer as the Goldilocks zone for myself, which is 100 million tokens or less as max supply. But 250 million is also not bad. And if you see the circulating supply, on the other hand, that's where you get the impressive numbers. If you see, the token has about 190 million to 226 million in circulation, and many of the tokens are also staked by ex-Sushi holders, right? So you have a lot of benefits coming from this project when it comes to its max supply and tokenomics, and how the tokens are staked to earn some passive yield on a consistent basis. And all of these things kind of tell me that this project is extremely undervalued. And if you see the market cap to the TVL ratio, you can clearly see that the token is having a 0.45 score in this ratio. Again, as we discussed in several other videos, the market cap to TVL ratio is a ratio that you need to kind of estimate if the project is extremely undervalued or fairly valued or overvalued, right? If the ratio is equal to 1, then it's fairly valued. If the ratio is greater than 1, then it's overvalued. If the ratio is less than 1, then it's undervalued. Since this token has more value locked in it than the token's market cap itself, that means this token is undervalued, because you have a lot more money using the platform than holding the token, which is mind-blowing to me. Because if you see platforms like Uniswap, again, not really throwing Uniswap under the bus, I'm a big fan of Uniswap as well, but when it comes to functionality, Sushiswap literally blows everything out of the water, right? Sushiswap has so many use cases. It's, again, as I said, a Swiss army knife of a DeFi platform in one single dApp, and it's extremely undervalued. I feel like Sushiswap has about 6.5 in its ratio, market cap to TVL ratio. So I think Sushiswap is a good buy if you are trying to buy a DEX or a decentralized finance token. Then Sushiswap would be a better bet, because it seems like Uniswap is quite overvalued, right? But again, that's just my opinion and not financial advice. If you take the charts, you can clearly see that the Sushiswap token has had consistent highs, except during the recent times when it's been kind of dipping, because the entire crypto market is dipping, obviously. If you take the price of Sushiswap since last year, when the price point is available from late of August 2020, the price of one token was worth $2.59, and the price spiked immediately. I believe it was due to the Binance listing that kind of gave Sushiswap a huge boost, and several people sold their Sushiswap tokens at the top because it was still associated with a lot of controversy, and one of its admins kind of did something goofy, and that kind of tanked the price. And the price was pretty much tanking and reached an all-time low of 66 cents per token till November, where the project started continuously doing innovative stuff, making new partnerships, trying to work with the Yearn Finance very closely and several other projects very closely in order to incorporate them within the platform. And that's when you can clearly see the public started, a small group of the crypto public started noticing this project, which made this token go from $2.52 late last year all the way to an all-time highs of about $23 by March 2021, which was when the token kind of was becoming more volatile. It reached a low point of $10.93 late April, and then it spiked back up above $20, reaching a price point of $21.44 in mid of May, and then it started declining during the downtrend, and now it's trying to rebound back up, right? So if you see, this token is clearly on an upward trajectory as more and more people are starting to realize the true potential of Sushiswap. And if you are to buy this token, this would be a really good token to dollar cost average in at this price point as well, even though it's trying to rebound, right? If we take the Bitcoin comparative, on the other hand, the token price has had a little bit of a like almost like a plateau-ish kind of phase in the Bitcoin comparative. The token price was initially worth 22,000 satoshis last year, and it made an all-time highs of about, I think, 65,000 satoshis last year before crashing back down to an all-time lows of about 3,900 satoshis or 4,000 satoshis in the range. Again, as people started noticing the different partnerships of Sushiswap, the price started increasing, and then during early February, this token reached a relative all-time highs of 41,000 satoshis, and then it was kind of on a plateau stage, not really making a lot of significant gains, definitely not reaching its previous all-time highs. That's because of the fact that Bitcoin itself was doing really well during this time frame, and then after the recent dip, it's kind of like moving downwards, but you can clearly see that it's starting to go back up at a current price point of 22,000 satoshis, right? 22,900 satoshis. So again, with Bitcoin comparative and dollar comparative, it seems like this is a good token to dollar cost average in. But let's look at the Ether comparative, right? So if you take the Ether comparative, again, this token seems to be at a much better buy opportunity on Ether comparative compared to both dollar and Bitcoin comparative. The initial token price was worth 0.006 ETH per token and reached an all-time highs of about 0.18 ETH before crashing back down last year and reaching a lower point of about 0.0013 ETH per token like early November last year. For people who bought this token at the time frame, they probably had a really good opportunity to accumulate a lot of ETH, because if you see, it reached another all-time high, relative all-time highs of about 0.01 ETH early May this year, and then since then it's been on a downward trend on Ether comparative. That's because Ether itself has been doing pretty well, but now if you see, it's pretty much at its all-time not at its all-time low, but its relative lows of this year. I think we can expect to see some more corrections this year before we make the second phase of the bull rally this year, and you can clearly see that this token can definitely go a little bit lower or even move sideways in Ether comparative. But if you buy in this token at this price point, it's a really good opportunity, right? Again, not financial advice, please do your own research. When it comes to markets, this token is obviously available on Sushiswap itself with the Ether comparative. Again, since we discussed that the Ether comparative is kind of like the really good buy opportunity, if you are willing to buy this token in any chain, you can buy it from Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, it's available in Phantom, even in Ethereum. You can pretty much buy it from any different chain. If you worry about paying gas fee on Ethereum, you can pretty much use this this platform on the Polygon chain and buy it for less than 1/10 of a cent, right? So that's something that's mind-blowingly awesome. You can pretty much buy a huge swath of this token for a very little gas fee, right? For a minuscule of gas fee, which is possible. Apart from that, you can also buy it from Binance, the largest exchange. Despite all the FUD that's happening right now with Binance, you can also get it from Bitfinex, FTX, which is also a tier 1 exchange, Coinbase as well, PancakeSwap. Again, you have a huge list of liquidity. You can pretty much get it from any exchange, and that's what blows my mind, how much of a liquidity that this project has and this token has, but it still is extremely undervalued just because people think it's a clone of Uniswap. It's technically realized that the project has realized that it's a clone of Uniswap, and if they have to survive, they have to make innovations, and that's exactly what they've been doing since last year. And you can clearly see their DApp currently and see the list of products that they offer, and you'll pretty much not be using any other platform itself, right? So instead of calling Sushiswap a DEX or an AMM, I would call this as a DeFi hub on any chain. A multi-chain DeFi hub is basically what I would personally label Sushiswap as. And my verdict is I'm going to buy a huge swath of this token with some Ether, because it's a really good buy opportunity at Ether comparative. And if you want to buy this token, again, please do your own research. Although this is technically considered as somewhat of a blue chip DeFi token, there is still risk associated with it. There could be fudding this token out. People who are big fans of Uniswap and who don't like Sushiswap can definitely cause a lot of FUD, which can make this token price volatile, right? But you have to do your own research and assess your own risk before you invest your money on this token, right? Again, remember guys, you guys are not red investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.